Hey, I'm David Maliniak, Executive Editor of Microwaves and RF, talking today with Bryan Goldstein. Bryan is Analog Devices VP of Aerospace, Defense, and Communications. Thanks for joining me, Bryan.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Great. A few questions for you. What are the technology trends that you see having the greatest impact on your market areas in the next decade?
So, from a technology perspective, what's really interesting is we've recently merged our aerospace defense and our wireless communications businesses together,
Mm.
and that's one of the biggest technology trends that we're seeing is the merger of sensing and communications for both commercial and defense applications. And so bringing together our RF technologies, our high-speed converter and software-defined radio technologies, as well as all of our sensing modalities and our navigation technologies are all coming together into one integrated set of solutions.
Mhm.
So, like I said, it's all the way from the antenna front end, the RF transmit receive modules, the beamformer ICs, the up and down conversion, all the way back through the analog to digital conversion into the FPGA slash processing. So the merging of these two businesses um, and the need for many, many different permutations and combinations of architectures. There is no one solution for all of the different problems trying to be solved. So we need to build a portfolio and a toolbox of different software-defined radios and high-speed converters for different applications and communications and radar and electronic surveillance, all different frequency bands, X band, KU band, KA band, all the different radar bands, and all the different communication bands. So all of these things come together, and there is no one solution. It's about, for us, putting together a portfolio of both semiconductor solutions, but then ultimately complete signal chain and system level solutions. So ultimately, we can help the industry go much more quickly than it's ever been before. And so that's really it from a technology side. It's about bringing those technologies together. But from
Mhm.
a business aspect, it's really about how do we help these industries go faster. And speed is now our number one spec, superseding just about every other electrical spec.
You alluded to architectures. What are the trends you see in phased arrays and digital beamforming and the architectures specifically?
Yeah, and so there is no one answer. You know, we've talked about digital beamforming for a number of years being, this high point of where everyone wishes they could get to because it allows a lot of advantage of number of beams and really having a lot of versatility. But there are a lot of challenges with digital beamforming, especially at higher frequencies around power consumption and overall cost. But progress is being made, and we're a big part of bringing digital beamforming technologies to the forefront that are lower power and lower cost solutions. But the analog solutions and the hybrid solutions are not going away. And so there are going to be a mixture of phased array architectures anywhere from analog beamforming through hybrid, a mix of digital and analog through pure digital. Digital arrays already exist down at the lower frequencies, L band, S band. These things exist and have existed for a long time, but now we're trying, how can we go direct digital at X band, at KU band? And so there's a lot of semiconductor work and processor work that needs to be done there to get the cost and the power efficiency to
Mhm.
where it needs to be for very large arrays. But in the meantime, folks are taking combinations of analog and digital and bringing them together and finding a happy medium right now, which is very practical.
You mentioned earlier, ADI combining businesses. Um, how has analog devices evolved from selling components, discretes, to providing these system level solutions?
We've got 60 years of being a leader on the semiconductor side, and we put a lot of effort into filling our catalog and having the highest performing semiconductors across many, many applications. And that really gives us the right to provide more value to our customers, and there's a pull from them for us to do more. And so the first step for us is really to understand our customer's problem in a much deeper way. So we've hired people from our customer community and from our customer's customer, which could be either the telephone company, the wireless telephone companies, or even the governments who are buying defense equipment. And so we've hired experts at the system level to help us determine and interpret what we're hearing from our customers so that we can set our roadmaps in a proper way. And again, we want to move faster, which means that we need to make fewer, bigger bets, and we need to really focus on the big problems that we're trying to solve. So we've brought in over the last 2 years experts in radar, electronic surveillance and countermeasures, navigation, military communications, satellite communications. And so these experts come with the voice of our customer, and I have over 400 customers that I personally deal with. It's very hard to interpret all the different push and pulls from them. So we've got folks who are coming in saying, let's make our best guess, and let's lean forward and build solutions based on what we know. And we're finding that our solutions that we're now putting into the catalog at the board and subsystem level, if they're not perfect, they're 80 to 90% there. And customers are able to get into the laboratory much more quickly. We're providing technical support at the system level as well as the semiconductor level, including software and now artificial intelligence. We're bringing that expertise because a lot of our architectures are software defined. So it's as much about software and AI as it is about the electronics and the hardware that we're building. The other thing that we're doing is we're coming closer to our customers, is we're building a concept called mini catalysts, where we are putting design and application test laboratories around the world. And we've got about 10 of them associated with aerospace, defense, and communications all around the world, where we're providing system level technical support in country so that our customers don't have to worry about how to use the semiconductors. They can come in and be educated and work with our engineers at the system level. So you can imagine an engineer coming in, I've got the phased array antenna already built, I've got the software-defined radio back end already built and connected, and now we're talking about software and making antenna patterns and tracking targets and tracking things that we're surveilling, as opposed to teaching them how to use individual semiconductors. So we've invested in the system level, and we're pulling our customers' journey along much more quickly than the past.
Very nice. Yeah. I want to just broaden out for the last couple of questions. If you were advising a young RF or microwave engineer that's getting into the field today, what would you encourage them? What skills would you encourage them to work on, develop, and emphasize?
Yeah. Number one, I would focus on learning AI. You need to learn these tools because while they're not taking your jobs, that's not the intent. They will change the workforce, and they're already changing the workforce. And so there are some skills that are becoming easier to do and more quickly to accomplish using AI. And so as a student deciding what to major in and what to focus on, understand the capabilities of AI and how to use it. I think that hardware and system levels and semiconductor hardware is making a comeback. For years, it was all about software, and it was a hard time to find semiconductor design engineers, hardware design engineers, system design engineers. I think that those will never go away, and I feel like that's really important skills that can maintain a high number of engineers coming out of school. I would also say be very practical. Get into the laboratory. Learn how to use the test equipment. Get your hands on. If you can deal with the reality of real world hard software systems in a practical way, as well as understanding the theory of how to design and be at the computer as well, that's a mixture that is invaluable and will never go away.
All right. if we were having this conversation again in, say, 4 years, 2030, what would need to have happened by then for you to say that the sectors you serve, aerospace, defense, and communications, had exceeded your expectations that you have now?
Number one is lead times from design to production. We got to get below a year. This idea of 3, 5, 7 years, it doesn't work anymore. So we got to get design times and design prototype to manufacturing times down under a year, which means that our customers need to change. We need to build ecosystem partnerships. We need to share and focus on our expertise and find partners that can split up the labor and help us go faster. We need to be able to localize design and manufacturing around the globe. Every country is demanding some level of autonomy and control over their ecosystem. So being able to design and support customers and to manufacture around the globe is important. And then lastly, making sure that there's a consistent pipeline of talent to keep growing our businesses at the rate they're growing. We need to continue to develop talent worldwide. So those are the things that I think about when I'm strategic planning each year.
Okay, that gets us back to those young guys that are building those skills and getting ready to join ADI potentially.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks very much, Bryan, for taking the time today and giving us an overview of where things are going with ADI. I appreciate it. And talk to you again soon.
All right. Thank you all.